comment down below on who you think should win the Oscar. Let's get a vote. Let's get a winner in the chat.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Visual Effects Artists React. It is Oscars season, and today we are reacting to the best visual effects nominees of the Academy Awards. Specifically, the visual effects nominees.
And then we're going to pick who we think should win.
Where I was in the theater going,
ooh, insane. That one shot is the best visual effects shot I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's what I'm saying! All of the visual effects in the awards this year are incredible, but at the end of the day, there's only one winner. We have Wicked, we have Better Man, we have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, we have Dune 2, and we have Romulus.
to me, there are two major categories for this particular year, and it's animals and it's space. We got 3 animals, we got 2 space. So I say we start with an animal.
Wait, is Wicked space?
No, Wicked's
I didn't even... I know that!
I'm the only one on the couch who's currently seen the movie Wicked, and there's some stuff that's worth talking about.
Is this how The Wizard of Oz ends with the Wicked Witch?
This is the prequel to Wizard of Oz. We start opening up with the death of the Wicked Witch of the East, and word is getting out to Munchkin Land. Now, up to this point, we know it's been full CG, but this is where the line starts to blur with what is real and what is not.
I'm pretty sure those flowers directly around the kid are real, and maybe like one row over, they're no longer real.
Dude, are any of the flowers real? They just go from like, this is obviously a CG shot to now it's filled to real, but it's still actually CG. You know, if you're gonna CG the background, you might as well CG all of it. It's just flowers.
They brought on production designer Nathan Crowley. He's done a whole slew of movies, one of them being Interstellar. Now, Interstellar was unique.
Oh,
why?
the
They bought a
farmlands, they planted all the corn.
They planted 500 acres of real corn for all the cornfield seeds and then turned around after production wrapped and sold the corn for a profit to the production. It was genius. And this is the same production designer who was behind that.
So are you suggesting they planted acres worth of flowers?
They planted 9 million
Wow.
real tulips to make that entire field. Insane considering it's like 2 shots.
So then it cuts to this shot, and it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. Then half the shot is still CG.
Well, this is, again, where the line starts to blur because they built Munchkin Land for real. Everything outside of that Munchkin Land is CG, all the way into the distant mountains.
I mean, this, you can feel how tactile the set is here.
Yeah.
People are running in and out of things, they're jumping on things. Like, you don't get any of that with the volume.
And they did the same thing for Oz that we see later in the movie. And they built out everything, the storefront faces, the interiors of the salon and the bakery with baked goods in the window. Like, they really went hard on the production design.
So now they're about to meet the guy behind the curtain.
Jeff Goldblum. But yeah, so they go to meet him. How do you make like an intimidating, steampunk-esque, Wizard of Oz?
Oz, the great and terrible.
Wait, how much of that is real?
Sorry about all that. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, there's real.
There he is.
Yeah.
No, you're right, that is the real one. It wasn't real a moment ago.
There was behind-the-scenes footage of a real practical build, and the question was asked, did you have a real, fully functioning puppet head? And the director went on file and said, yes, we had a totally real and 100% functioning puppet head. But it doesn't say, and we used it for all the shots. This is the gray that we enter.
Now, I'm willing to bet when they shot this plate, they actually had the real masks sort of coming out, and it's probably the real strings interacting with it, and they're just match moving all of that up and down motion, like the macro scale motion. All the individual pieces, they're probably reanimating and like just using what works best.
If you think that's something to see, wait till you see this.
In this episode, we are looking at the best of the best when it comes to CGI, and all these movies have one thing in common. They are all using the VFX software Houdini, the industry standard software for creating all the epic effects you see on the big screen. Knowing Houdini is an increasingly crucial skill in getting hired in the VFX industry today. And it just so happens, I've been spending my last year of weekends creating a fully comprehensive beginner's course to this amazingly diverse and powerful software. The one I really wish I had when I was getting started. A course designed to take you from your first time opening the software into making things like you see us build on this very channel. We'll explore modeling, particle simulation, liquids, smoke, fire, destruction, grains, character rigging, crowds, and so much more. Everything you need to get started in your own journey whatever your end goal might be. And I want to be right there with you through it all. If you've been looking for an opportunity to start learning visual effects, this is your time to do so. Just head to doublejumpacademy.com/corridorcrew to sign up and get started today. And who knows, one day you may be collecting your very own Oscar for Best Visual Effects. Now let's get back to some sick Houdini sims, huh? So then we get into ape territory. And this is the funny part to me. I know, exactly.
This is the year of the apes.
It's such an interesting thing. It's almost like apes are the new like World War II.
That right there looks pretty sweet. His face is very realistic, but at the end of the day, he's got blue fur, and that kind of just makes it off for me. From like a photorealism standpoint, but that being said, I mean, they look pretty good.
Yeah, the apes look good. They definitely don't feel as photoreal as like the animals did.
Oh, did they cast a spell to give them all wings?
But
oh, dude, look at that ripping
That's pretty
cloth.
cool.
We enter feather territory heavily here.
Oh,
And I really like it.
That was really cool. It was really well done. The animation was great. Like, wings are tough to animate. I mean, like, you can't just go film yourself in a mirror, like flapping, you know?
And here's the thing, if you think 2 wings are tough to animate, how about a whole lot more?
Uh-oh. Dang, that is a lot of wing animation.
A lot of wings, a lot of loose feathers. I love those stray feather sims, the little particle sims.
The other thing about giving your characters wings is that if they're not a bird, now you're truly like making stuff up. Yeah. The physics are made up, the motion's made up, the biology's made up.
And the points don't matter.
And when you can still sell that and make people feel like, oh yeah, that monkey's in pain because of the way he's flapping his wings. It's like, if you can sell that as an animator, you are very good at your job.
So that's like a nice little taste of the animal stuff. And that to me is their strongest claim for the throne of this visual effects Oscar. Of course, all their integration and set extension work is really nice as well. But again, those lines get blurred for me with production design.
We haven't actually looked at Wicked on the show yet, so we decided to give that movie a little bit of extra love today. But it's time to move on to the other nominations from this year's Oscars, starting with... So let's talk about Alien Romulus. We did an entire episode about this movie relatively recently, like a couple months ago. This was one of my favorite movies of the year, and I think my favorite part of the whole movie, we just gotta watch it right now, is the ring crashing sequence. Yeah, dude, this shot right here, fire, debris, and then it transforms into a whole different shot. All that fine particulate.
Pure sci-fi spectacle.
Yeah, all the debris, like the glints of light. No one ever gets the amount of debris right from an explosion.
Except them? Okay.
Except them.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh, it's so cool.
Dude, the whole room just getting torn apart like that, like a destructive Z-Pass layer.
Like a cheese grater.
Oh, man.
We're kind of breezing through these movies a little bit, but on the extended episode on corridordigital.com, there's a lot more breathing room, a lot more debate, so be sure to check that out. There's also a whole sequence in this movie where this android gets brought back online, and he's played by a deceased actor, Sir Ian Holm. Again, we did all this in our previous episode. Since we filmed that episode, they actually went back and changed some of the visual effects of that sequence for the Blu-ray release.
In the original version that we looked at, it was pretty decent, but the teeth were a little weird because they were running basically a deepfake process to do the face replacement, and the perspective of the teeth was just a little tricky. And also the resolution was just a little low. It's like they had punched in on a shot that probably would have been better on more of like a medium wide.
Interesting you say that.
get out. However you got in.
No, wait, whoa.
The lighting's a little less bumped up. It's a little more natural.
Yeah.
The mouth is a little animated. It's animated a little bit less. Maybe it's more of the actual puppet underneath coming through here.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if they actually went through and they decomposited the mouth. On the deepfake, you can see like there's this weird blurry line between the lip and the teeth. It's like the lip itself blurs before it gets to the teeth.
And everything else is pretty good. Like the eyes are pretty decent. Darkening the face was the right call because you can kind of make VFX look fake with color grading. When you just boost them, like, oh, the face is too dark, boost it up. It's like, now the compositing looks weird. Like,
Yeah.
it seems like they chilled that out. out.
It's interesting. I don't know if it's just the grade, but there is a stronger specular coming from the bridge of the nose as well.
Oh, you're right.
A lot more puppet, I think, is coming through on the left.
That's a different eye pass too, it looks like.
And there's more of like a softer bloom to him too.
We don't actually know what was changed. We're just kind of looking at it here. So we don't know if some of the deep fake was removed or if they actually did a completely new pass and redid it. But at the end of the day, the mouth is slightly less articulate.
And they're also slightly more zoomed out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They reframed, nice.
They didn't abandon the technique that they were doing, it feels like. It feels like they're still doing the deepfake stuff, but just a little more tuned, a little more understood by the whole team, how it's gonna look, where its strengths and weaknesses are. Like some shots are zoomed out, but at the same time, like the eyes still have that deepfake life that CGI struggles to capture, that deepfakes do really well. It still looks like deepfake teeth, to be honest with me, on the left, like on the Blu-ray release, but they're not as like weirdly bright. They're composited a little bit better, the perspective's better. So just, yeah, it's an improvement.
But that being said, I think there's another movie that we should take a look at. A better one, perhaps. About a man.
Whoa, what a segue.
So our episode of the VFX supervisor for this movie just came out. Crazy that they visited. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Extended version on corridordigital.com.
Better Man is really interesting because every single shot with your lead actor is a compositing challenge. You need to integrate them into the scene, often complex lighting setups with a full real cast.
And on top of that, costumes, CG costumes. Every single scene that Robbie Williams is in, he's wearing a different outfit, which means that they have a different CG outfit based on the real outfits from the time that he was in and all that stuff. It's all just created and groomed and fit around him.
So is the entire body of the character at CG here, or are they just doing a head and hands replacement?
It's the entire body is replaced.
Wow.
Now they have a guy on set who's actually going through all the same motions with everyone else. He's there wearing the mocap suit sort of thing. It's all getting replaced. So they are matching the costume perfectly to the others around him.
The whole entire movie, we're dealing with different outfits, different materials, all interacting with a fully CG, hair-covered creature. It's a humongous endeavor. What's really cool is, the visual effects team, being Weta, they were confident that, we don't want to get in the way of the vision of this director, so they let him do whatever he wanted with the camera. That includes, Niko, in-camera lens flares.
Oh no.
Some harsh ones too.
Not only do I need you to composite something behind a lens flare, which is already hard enough, it needs to be a full photorealistic CG ape in full photorealistic simulated cloth.
Dang,
Oh, for the whole movie, by the way. I think there were only, was it 20 shots that didn't have CG in this or something?
Something like that,
It was
yeah.
like,
Man.
of the 2,000 or so shots, over 1,960 had CG in them.
Because the thing is, like, when you composite it back on top of the monkey, you can't have it overlap on the lens flare that's already there in the real footage. At the edges of your CG model, it has to match perfectly, or you have to just take all the lens flares out and put new lens flare back on, which also is like very kind of impossible and hard to do.
Yeah, both paths lead to a headache.
Weta, please share the lens flare software. These are the guys who made Avatar 2?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was like, wait, where are you going with this?
I think we should move on to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
I haven't watched any of the new Planet of the Apes films. So it's like,
Any of them?
when number 4 or 5 comes out, I'm like, I haven't seen one yet, so it holds me back.
You haven't seen any of them?
Oh, Niko.
I saw the Mark Wahlberg remake. And I'll be honest, it kind of turned me off to any more Planet of the Apes.
He was outside when they arrived.
Oh, already we're just shivering
It
over
looks
here.
so real.
I forgot how good that looks. Oh my God.
This is the interesting element, right? It's like with Better Man, you have one CGI ape that you can focus all of your attention on. In this one, every single shot is typically multiple. So it becomes this really interesting new challenge that arises.
Dude, the eyes on that monkey.
Ape.
Sorry, ape.
How dare you?
Apes understood this meaning in the time of Caesar.
How? Oh. Is that a CG book? I can't tell.
I don't remember.
The show's getting really hard to do.
I know, right? It's something to be said maintaining a certain level of quality, which is a real challenge on a film of this magnitude.
I've been told there's a tasty close-up.
Oh, the tastiest. Make a 2-hour cut. I don't care. I'll watch it.
Some person is just flexing so hard on their keyboard. Their fingers have such thick muscles on them now.
Their gloves are just tearing at the seam. I don't know why they're wearing gloves, but
I love the expressiveness, like the eye widening and
Yeah.
like the caustic.
The caustics of the actual, like, of the telescope lens just, like, projecting on his face.
because this is the thing with Weta is like they very often just build it for real. We were looking at She-Hulk back in the day, a previous episode, and I was asking about the eye. How do you get it to look so realistic? You know, I'm thinking, oh, well, there's a model of the outside of the eye that is transparent, and then there's the inside, which you texture nicely. No, they're actually building out the biology of the eye. Every layer of it, all the different fun names that I've forgotten by now, and then allowing the light in their renderer to just calculate what would actually happen in the real world.
So
and
when-
it looks so stinking good.
I've heard whispers of a monkey in a river scene.
Yes.
I think you need to pull that up.
Niko, which character would be the most difficult to put in the water?
The orange guy. Orangutan.
Orangutan.
Oh no, that looks completely real. No way, no way. That's just a real monkey. Sorry, ape in the water. How is this a sad moment? I'm so distracted by how good
Yeah,
the visual
yeah.
effects are.
Together.
Look at it coming off the fur, Niko. Look at it pouring off of
great.
the clumping hair, Niko.
It's insane. That's insane. That one shot is the best visual effects shot I've ever seen in my entire life.
Let's go! Let's go!
We're not even talking about the interaction between him and her. Like,
Oh yeah, huh? There's a real person.
Yeah.
I forgot.
and then it cuts to that shot where it's like, I'm pretty sure that's a real bridge there with a CG ape interacting with it flawlessly.
Whatever. I don't care about that.
That's what I'm saying!
I don't care.
That's whatever!
But it's
Yeah.
like, look at the animation too, the facial animation and the emotion captured in that close-up. Like, you know exactly what he's feeling. That's what the full CG character, that's super challenging work.
I can't believe how many Oscar-nominated visual effects supervisors we have had on the show. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing. Yeah, it's so, so cool.
Thanks, guys, for coming out and being on our show. It's super cool of you. Bravo, Planet of the Apes. Amazing. We got one more film.
We have one more film. you're right.
Dune. Dose.
What are the big visual effects moments that stand out to you in this movie?
Well, there's a big final battle where he shows up with the worms to fight the Harkonnens.
But this is a movie nominated for Best Visual Effects. Surely there are more sequences than just the final scene.
There's the cool infrared scene.
Oh, that's right.
Which
That was
isn't-
actually pretty cool.
Here's the thing. I'll be honest. When I think of Dune, like, it has great visual effects. I don't think of it as a visual effects movie. I think of it as a director's film.
Yeah.
Like, not to say the other films aren't director's film, but this one feels like the style bleeds across the whole film because it's very much a director that has a style. Blade Runner 2049 has amazing visual effects by the same director, but like that movie, I also feel like it's the director's vision and design and approach to filmmaking that's really elevating that film.
This
nuke.
explosion, dude.
It's a nice nuke.
They're not nukes, they're atomics.
All right.
What a cool shot.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. I love the sense of scale you get throughout that
Yeah.
shot.
The thing about this movie, like, you know, Planet of the Apes has great water. This movie, really good dust and sand. Dust atmospherics are really hard to get right.
Dune 2 definitely has very good looking explosions and fire.
Yeah.
CG explosions are very hard to make satisfying.
Like there's that sequence earlier in the movie when they blow up all the rocky base.
Oh yeah, the lighting. And the rocks falling and pulling the smoke with it.
Well, each detonation also has like a weird pulse to it that's real nice.
They seem to have solved like one of the problems with CG explosions, which is like the starting of it. It's like they have their explosion form and accelerate in a way that just kind of gets past that junky starting phase that CG explosions have and just gets to the good stuff. And like all the vibe is built on the lighting and the smoke, and the portrayal of those explosions and the haze. It's like the director knows what makes a CG explosion good, and he works for the strengths and avoids the weaknesses.
There's really something to be said about that.
So guys, the big question is at hand. And the winner of the visual effects Oscar goes to.
Wait.
Well, I think we should.
I'm like, wait, hold on. Should we
right.
talk about it?
Okay, now we're in discussion zone here. So I think we should talk about who we think is going to win and who we think should win. Wicked, very cool stuff, but I don't think it's near the top of any of these.
I would agree. And again, for as good as the work was, there is that gray area that takes it out of direct contention, in my opinion. A ton of the stuff that really drew the eye was production design oriented. But for me, with these heavy hitters this year, you need all the boxes checked. And that unfortunately unchecks that box for me personally.
I'll be honest, Dune 2, from a visual effects standpoint, extremely well done. The vision is very cohesive, but it's not...
It's not. You don't think it should win?
It's Kingdom. Come on, it's got to be Kingdom. I'm skipping all of it. I'm skipping all of it. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes sets the bar so dang high that none of the other movies can really fairly compare.
You're right. If this is just visual effects, not movie quality, not how many sequels there are. If it's just visual effects, I'd probably agree with you. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, maybe Better Man. Those would be my picks. I'm gonna say Better Man, just because we're in City Kingdom already.
Better Man and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes feel like the ones that are pushing us forward into like the next level that just make my jaw drop and I can't stop thinking about it.
Now, Dune Part 2 also has visual effects throughout the entire movie, but they're so seamlessly integrated. I think it's probably the most effective at making you forget that there are effects in it.
That then comes down to the question of what do you prioritize as a voter? What is important to you? Is it not noticing? Is it not thinking about it? Or is it just pure raw technical achievement?
All right, gentlemen, succinctly, what is your pick?
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes should win. I feel like they're going to give it to Dune 2.
I think Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes should win, but you know what? I think Wicked might win.
Whoa.
When I watched that shot in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I said it's the best VFX shot I've ever seen. So you're right. Better Man was really good. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes should win. I think Wicked's gonna get it.
Whoa, you both think Wicked's gonna get it?
Yeah.
Wicked is pulling the same thing La La Land did, you know, where it's like, it's
the
for
popular
some reason
kid.
a huge popular thing. Yeah, it's the popular kid.
It's a pretty popular kid, and they're gonna get all the votes because everybody loves them.
That's literally the song from the movie.
Popular, you're gonna be popular.
Please, whoever can vote,
I just find
Get out there and vote.
please vote! Take to the streets.
Look, if Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes wins, you know who to thank.
And if Wicked wins, you know who to blame.
This was a lot of fun. This was the first time we ever did an actual Academy Awards react.
And the first time that we've worn suits. Fun fact.
I'm not supposed to even
Weird.
have this buttoned.
I'm ready to change.